Alrighty, everybody. Hi there, Carson Meredith with you from the Wave Now Studios on this Saturday evening. Yes, we are about a half hour earlier than normal, 6:46. It's August 23rd, and it feels pretty good outside. If you like today's weather, you're really going to love tomorrow, and you are really, really, really going to love a good chunk of next week. Our fall preview is knocking on the door, my friends. Who's ready? Let me know in the comments. You ready for this? Are you ready for fall to be here permanently or for good? Are you ready for the preview, or do you want summer to hold on a little while longer? We got a month left, technically, until fall starts, so a little bit of a jump start, at least for the next few days. That's the main focus, of course, in our chat tonight. And we'll also give you an update on Fernan, our next system in the tropics that developed just within the last couple of hours, became a named tropical storm. So a couple of things to watch tonight. Let's get to it. That's the live view down at Bardstown. Behind me, by the way, is the State Fair. Perfect night for the State Fair, right? Beautiful night in Bardstown as well. Some of those cumulus clouds still out there. And as we go through this evening, the cold front that is going to begin our fall preview will sweep through. It'll be a very quiet cold front. Not a ton of moisture with it. It'll just have an increase in clouds overnight tonight, but by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, you really won't know that cold front moved through, other than the fact that it'll be less humid. And even so, today's been pretty comfortable despite that humidity. 83 our current temperature. You already see that wind is out of the north and west, so we're under that influence now of that approaching front just a little bit, but it has been enough to knock down those dew points into the 50s, and those will just keep on dropping, will those dew points, over the next 2 or 3 days as this taste of fall takes hold. Radar is quiet in our area, and as expected, nearly all of us stayed dry today. The only exception was Adair County. Shout out to our friends near Columbia. We did have a few showers, 1 or 2 downpours down in Adair County earlier this afternoon, but those have since pushed away. And most of the action for the rest of the evening will be out towards London and Corbin, Kentucky, in the far southeast corner of the state. So we're good to go for whatever plans you have this evening, going to the fair. I know Lou City plays here in a little over an hour. Or if you're just hanging outside, should be just fine for whatever you got going on tonight. Let's zoom things out. Where's the front? I'm glad you asked. It's just off to our north and west. It is moving on in. And as we stop the radar for a second, a couple things I want you to notice. First, on the satellite, you kind of see that deck of mid-level clouds that'll be moving in with that front. And at least for now, we're picking up on some pockets of sprinkles out towards Cape Girardeau, Missouri, southern Illinois, up into Ohio as well. As the night goes on, this cold front is going to become more and more moisture starved. There's not going to be a ton of moisture with it by the time it gets here. And that's kind of why we're saying it's a quiet cold front. As it moves in overnight tonight, it'll move pretty quickly to the east and southeast, but it's not going to have a ton of rain with it. Now, just to be on the safe side, I am going to keep a 10% chance in for a few sprinkles overnight, mainly in southern Indiana, where we still have maybe a tiny little bit more moisture, not a ton, should be fine. Most of us will just see an uptick in the clouds overnight, and that will keep the temperatures on the milder side. We have to wait a little bit until the front gets here and moves out of here before we start to see those cooler temperatures. So still a little mild tonight, 67 your forecast low, partly cloudy, perhaps a few sprinkles in southern Indiana. I'm being very, very cautious with that forecast. I do think nearly all of us will stay dry. That front will be out of here Sunday morning, pretty early in the day. And as a result, we don't have any rain in the forecast tomorrow, and I mean, it looks fantastic. For the last day of the State Fair, if you're going to be heading out there, go, why not? It'll be a beautiful day. Models actually keep trending tiny bit cooler. Not just Sunday, but into early next week. So I've got a forecast high of 83 here in Louisville Sunday afternoon. Now, as we mentioned, at first, you're not really going to notice a huge cool down. That'll take a little more time as that cooler air continues to get pulled into wave country. But what you definitely will notice if you're out at the fair tomorrow or just out and about in general is how quickly the humidity drops. The sticky meter map, which we always love to show you this time of year, it's been in the yellow territory today. That means it's just kind of muggy. It's not terrible, but it's a little muggy. Notice tomorrow morning, the muggy meter map is green. That means it's just a little humid, feeling a little better. But as we get into Sunday afternoon, here come the blues. All that blue you see across the Midwest moving into wave country, that is very, very comfortable air that once it arrives, guys, is not going anywhere for several days, maybe 3, 4, 5 days, in fact. It is very rare to get any kind of a taste of fall like this in August, but to have something, a fall preview that lasts for such an extended amount of time, that is very, very rare. So get outside and enjoy it. But the big thing you'll notice on Sunday is the lower humidity, the much lower humidity. Maybe not as much the temperatures yet, but you notice we get into late Sunday night. I mean, it's going to feel like fall tomorrow night. Absolutely perfect for any plans you might have tomorrow evening as well. Something we also don't really talk about this time of year is the wind, at least non-thunderstorm wind, right? That's going to be a different story on Sunday. Once this front gets here, obviously that air has to be transported in somehow, that cooler, less humid air, and we're going to have a pretty decent breeze out of the north and west tomorrow afternoon especially. We may see those gusts upwards of 15 to maybe even 20 miles per hour Sunday afternoon. So it could feel more like late September, early October kind of day. I think a better comparison might actually be like a May day, if you will. Low 80s, a little breezy, lots of sunshine, not much humidity. It's going to feel great tomorrow. So whatever plans you might have should be just fine. But yeah, we don't usually talk about extended cool downs like this time of year. We also don't talk much about wind outside of storms, right? So tomorrow's main focus is the drop in the humidity. Still feels great, don't get me wrong. But it's early next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday specifically, where those temperatures will, I don't want to say tank, but they'll drop even more. And it'll just be even more comfortable than it will be on Sunday. How about Tuesday in particular? 78 for your forecast high. And that's quite honestly what we have for each day next week, early next week. Monday 78, Tuesday 78, Wednesday 78. So it'll be very persistent, will those temperatures be as we go into the early part of next week. Look up towards Cleveland and Buffalo. Woo, a little cold, at least for late August. 67 in Cleveland on Tuesday, 68 up in Buffalo. You can see how this cooler air is overspreading much of the country. 80 in the nation's capital Tuesday, 72 out in Oklahoma City. But you see how sharp that cutoff is down in the deep south. You go from 72 in OKC down to 80 or up to 89 in Dallas. So it's feast or famine. You're either going to get a really nice chill or you're going to stay toasty across the U.S. this upcoming week. So yeah, that's where we stand when it comes to our fall preview, at least with the high temperatures. I'm going to talk about those morning lows in a second. Let's jump to the comments. Who's here? Noodlehead77 on YouTube is here. Hello. Ann is here. Beautiful weekend indeed. Brandon's here. Ready for fall, not ready for the cold. Yeah, that's always the precursor, right? If we're in fall or it feels like fall, that means winter's not too far off. But let's not worry about that right now. Let's just enjoy this nice taste while we got it, right? ZK's here. Hello, hello. Lime Forever on YouTube. Is any storm action coming? No, not with this front. Like I said, just a few sprinkles tonight. That's it. If that. Might not be anything, to be honest. Our next rain chance isn't until Labor Day weekend, and even then, I'm not totally sold on it yet. And I'll explain when we show the 10-day in a few minutes. Reagan's here. Hello, hello. Kathy's here. Kelly's here. Blue's here. James is here, ready for the cool down. So is Ann. So is Noodlehead. So is Jeff on X. Weather Geek's here. Amanda. Football, chili, and noodles. Yeah, I can't wait for a chilly Sunday to watch some football, right? Almost there. Sean is watching us from Illinois. Now, how do you pronounce that town, Sean? Rantoul? Never heard of it. Heading back tomorrow morning. Well, be careful. Fortunately, the weather will be good for you heading back. James makes a great point. We need rain. We do. And unfortunately, this is kind of the one bad thing with this fall preview. This is not the type of weather pattern to give us much in the way of rain. This front will push most of the storm action to our south and west for a while, possibly into Labor Day weekend. Now, there are some hints that we could start to see that action get back into wave country by next Sunday and into Labor Day itself. But there are some models that keep us pretty dry for almost the next 2 weeks. So yeah, the cooler temperatures are great. The lower humidity is awesome. But gosh, we're getting dry quick. I didn't put the drought map in here tonight, forgive me, but I would not be surprised that drought map expands across more of wave country when we get the new update later this week. Angela's here. And will the beautiful weather last till Friday? Sure looks that way. Sure looks that way. Anita's here. 30 days till fall. Yes, officially 1 month away. But this is a nice preview we got on the way, too. Crispy is watching. Wishes he was up in Cleveland on Tuesday with that high in the upper 60s up there off of Lake Erie. Yeah, that might be a little too cool for late August, but beggars can't be choosers, right? So we've got highs in the 70s early next week. But it's not just the afternoons, guys. It is those mornings, too. Look at Wednesday morning in particular. These are the temperatures for Wednesday morning. And I'm showing you this one because I think it's going to be the coldest morning that we will see during this little cool spell, I should say. 54 here in town, but there is a very strong possibility, especially in southern Indiana, that we drop into the upper 40s Wednesday morning and perhaps Thursday morning. Thursday morning, looking over the data today, is coming in even cooler. So Wednesday morning and Thursday morning look to be the coolest, with lows across the board in the 50s. And a few upper 40s showing up, especially outside of Louisville and especially in southern Indiana. We are going to get close to some record low temperatures, especially by the middle of next week, Wednesday and Thursday. I don't think we'll break those records. I just kind of skimmed through some of those numbers today. I don't think we'll break those records, but we'll get pretty close. So you may need to break out some of those lighter jackets really each morning this week, but especially Wednesday and Thursday. Those look to be the coolest. I mean, look up towards Indy, 49. Fort Wayne, Indiana, 45 Wednesday morning. 49 in Columbus, Ohio, 51 in Pittsburgh, 49 up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Even down towards Huntsville, Alabama, my old stomping grounds, 53. So yeah, this is a huge, huge shot of cold air moving in as we wind down meteorological summer. Remember, meteorological summer is different from astronomical summer. Astronomical summer has to do with the tilt of the Earth and things of that nature, of course. But when you're talking about the official start of fall, we are indeed, as Anita mentioned, 30 days away. 1 month. 1 month. Can you tell I'm excited? Monday, September 22nd is the start of the fall season. So that's where we are, guys. Again, there's not a ton of rain chances to talk about here at home. It's pretty quiet. Obviously, the cooler air is the huge story. Let's go to the tropics because we do have action again. Erin was off the board this morning. She's gone. Bye-bye, Erin. And now we have Fernand. Yes, it is French. Fernand got his name around 5 o'clock this evening from the National Hurricane Center. Ignore the red circle or the red zone. That's not a factor anymore. It's just this map doesn't update as frequently as the track map that we're now focused on. Fernand is expected to just be a fish storm. Let's zoom in a little tighter on it. You can see the center just southeast of Bermuda. This is going to pass east of Bermuda. No major problems for the island itself. And at this stage of the game, you can see the track keeps it as a tropical storm the entire way as it moves out over the Atlantic. There was some concern that this wave last weekend could try to get towards the Gulf. That is not a concern at all anymore. None whatsoever. So Fernand has developed. It's a tropical storm. It'll stay a tropical storm. It will stay a fish storm, which means it hangs out in the ocean with all the fish and will not cause any issues for the U.S. Further to the south, there is still another wave that we're watching in the Atlantic. This system had a pretty good probability earlier this week of becoming an organized system. It was like 50, 60%. But our confidence on that has dropped quite a bit in the last couple of days. The models just aren't totally sold on this becoming a more organized system anymore. So the Hurricane Center has dropped the chances of formation down to about 20% with this system. We'll watch it because it is still going to track into the Caribbean. Right now, it does not appear to be a threat for the United States at all. But it is something we'll just kind of babysit over the next few days in case it does develop into a more organized system. The next name on the list, by the way, is Gabrielle. Gabrielle is next. So we got Fernand now, and then Gabrielle would be the next name up. But that's where we stand in the tropics. If you got plans on the coast for Labor Day weekend, next weekend, there is no tropical threat to the U.S. We were a little worried last weekend. We're not anymore. Should be fine for the holiday weekend, both on the Gulf Coast or the East Coast. Back here at home, there's your 10-day. Not much to talk about other than the cool temperatures, right? 83 tomorrow. And keep in mind, that's in Louisville. If you live in southern Indiana, you could stay around 79 tomorrow. As you're going to be further north where some of that cooler air is moving in a little faster. We will all be in the 70s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Maybe a few more clouds on Monday, but still a great day to get outside. You see all of those overnight lows in the 50s with Wednesday and Thursday morning, potentially a few of you in the 40s. And then by Labor Day weekend, we do start to moderate those temperatures a bit. Not necessarily, heat back up. I mean, there's no 90s to be found anytime soon. But we'll just kind of moderate ourselves back into the low 80s for the holiday weekend. Now, the big question is, what kind of rain chances will we have? I will tell you, Friday looks dry. Saturday, I am becoming more and more confident is dry. Not ready to say for sure yet, but I'm becoming more confident that Saturday is dry. We get into Sunday and Labor Day Monday, and there becomes a question of if we have a cutoff low develop nearby. You guys know how stubborn those cutoff lows are. They don't like to move because they're cut off from the rest of the atmospheric flow. And when that happens, that usually gives us repetitive waves of showers. The GFS has been on that idea for a while now for next Sunday, and Labor Day Monday. The European has not gotten there yet. So we'll keep it mostly dry for now for the holiday weekend, but we'll just have to watch the trends on that in the days to come. But all in all, pretty tranquil here in Wave Country over the next 7 to 10 days. More comments and we'll wrap it up. Amanda's ready for the pumpkin spice weather. I tell you what, it's going to feel like it this week, no doubt. Angela, the ragweed is killing me. Need a frost. Yeah, it's getting bad, guys. If you struggle with ragweed allergies, get ready. It's ramping up now. And early next week, again, it's going to feel phenomenal, but the ragweed will really be able to thrive next week. So consider yourselves warned. warned. And we're definitely not going to see a frost out of this. It'll probably be sometime in mid-October before we even start thinking about a frost. Let's see. Reagan needs to cool down for the doggos. Yeah, that's the bad thing about summers. You can't walk them during the hottest part of the day because the sidewalk's being too hot. Sean says he's in Rantoul, Illinois. All right, the more you know. The more you know about Illinois geography. Thanks, Sean. Be careful coming home tomorrow. Let's see. Another ad on Facebook. I like your thinking here. Ready for cooler weather to justify starting to watch Christmas movies. That's the spirit. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Tim, my Skywarn radios are gathering dust. Hey, you know what, Tim? That's not a bad problem to have. We've had a nice stretch of quiet weather for a little over a month now. And that trend's going to continue for a bit, which is great, if you ask me. Lauren wants the warm weather to stay. Well, I will tell you, Lauren, as we get into the first week of September after Labor Day, there are some indications we do warm things back up. Are we looking at mid-90s? No. But upper 80s, low 90s, that's definitely possible as we get towards the first week of September. So just after Labor Day weekend. In fact, you kind of notice at the end of the 10-day there, the day after Labor Day, the Tuesday after Labor Day, we're back to around 86. So you start to see the hints of that warm up again by that point. I'm becoming more confident that we're done with mid-90s, but I do think we'll have at least a few low 90s in September. A few more. Cameron, any chance of active severe September into October? Stay tuned. Brian is gathering all the info he needs for the fall outlook, and he will be sharing that outlook next week. So stay tuned for that. There's your tease, be good, if you're watching. Let's see. Crispy has the Horizon model, which you guys may remember was we had an exclusive partnership with Climavision, which is a forecast modeling company based in Louisville. We were able to use their technology for Derby. And their model was the first one to pick up on that cutoff low for Derby that made it so miserable weather-wise on Derby Day. So Crispy's asking, is it picking up on that cutoff low yet for Labor Day weekend? It is not at this point. Granted, it's not fully in range just yet for what we're looking at, which is next Sunday and Labor Day itself, but at least for the start of the holiday weekend, it is not picking up on that cutoff low. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards a drier forecast right now for the holiday weekend. Let's see. Well, there you are, Lori. You got it made right here. Sitting on the deck drinking coffee in Meade County. Love it. That's awesome. Yeah, whatever. Make plans. You know, I always say whenever it's nice to make plans outside, enjoy it. Especially this upcoming week. You know, last year, the last week of August, we hit 102 in Louisville one day. We had a couple days in the hundreds, one of which we hit 102. So definitely a big contrast this year for the last week of August compared to last year's last week of August. Angela, yeah, we need a frost to kill the ragweed. Nice seeing you at the State Fair. Yeah, I had a ton of fun on Tuesday at the State Fair. Because we have so many newscasts, it's hard to get out in the community and see you guys anymore just because of the workload. But we always love going out to the State Fair. Had a good crowd this year, I felt like. I felt like we had more folks stop by than last year, which is always good. And we appreciate everybody who did. Hopefully we can get a better day next year. At least that's what the rumor mill is saying. So stay tuned for next year. One more comment before we go. Hey, Head, hope you're doing okay. Always see you on my Facebook page. I appreciate you. Any thoughts about winter yet? I don't have any at this point. I'll be honest. I haven't had enough time to look. But stay tuned for that as well. The fall forecast from Be Good will come out next week. I can't remember which day. And then, as always is the case, the winter outlook will be out on Halloween night. And we look forward to it. All right, guys, that's it for now. We've got NASCAR on Wave tonight. We should be on at 11 o'clock on Wave News after the race. So if you're still awake at 11 o'clock, we hope you'll tune in once the NASCAR coverage is over. And we will be back here tomorrow, as we always are, on TV. And we'll do our nightly chat here from the Wave Now Studios back to its normal time around 7:15 tomorrow evening. We'll talk more about this nice chill that'll be in the air for the early part of the week ahead. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Take care of yourselves. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the less humid air. Enjoy the sunshine. Get outside. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. And we will be here through the rest of the weekend, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.